Prime Matters, in collaboration with Slaking Thirsts podcast, presents the Christian Mythic narrative, The Deep History of the World. PrimeMatters.com is a groundbreaking project of educational outreach of the University of Mary, awakening the Catholic imaginative vision. Episode 5. Humanity, Man and Woman.
Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Finally, in the slow workings of time, but what is time to time's creator who stands entirely outside of it? God guided his creation to its crown. He brought about a new kind of being, the human. These new creatures were a wonder to the angels looking on. The angels marveled first at their composite nature, at the way they summed up and united everything God had made. Fashioned from the dust of the earth, they shared with lifeless matter the basic elements of its composition, its context of time and space, and its materiality. With living things, they shared the quality of organic life, growth and generation, movement and sense. Most astonishingly, they were given immortal souls, and were gifted with minds and free wills like the angels. They were the very image of God wrought upon lowly matter, a microcosm of all creation, a small but complete universe who in their union of body and soul, of materiality and spirit, summed up all the varied aspects of God's creative design. God said to these humans, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it." Unlike the angels, whose creation was immediate and entire, each separate from the other, humanity was created in two forms, male and female, who together express the fullness of human nature. The man was designed with the woman in view, and the woman was made with the man in mind. Again, unlike the angels, the race of humans was to grow through the medium of time, and all who shared their nature were to come from this one original pair. This meant that humans were given a communal identity that was different from that of the angels. The whole human race was prefigured and in a sense present in these first two members of the race. Because of this, the individual destinies of all humans would be tied together by a close bond of essential kinship. The new race of humans was set by God upon the slow way to their fulfillment. Time was to accomplish their creation, both individually and as a race. They were then given the joyful task and privilege of participating in God's creative action. They were to unite with each other physically and in a loving union of souls, and were to fill the earth with the children of their union. The angels were amazed at the high dignity God was conferring on these creatures of time and sense, whose quality of individual personality embedded in communal unity echoed the inner life of the Trinity, and whose generative potency was a participation in God's creative love. God further dignified the humans by appointing them stewards of the rest of material creation. Just as he had brought order out of chaos, so humanity was to bring the beauty and harmony of God's order to a world in a still unfinished state. They were to tend the garden of the world as they were taught by God. Their habitation was perfectly suited to them. They lived in joy, at peace in the presence of God, in harmony with themselves, in tune with the material creation they were assigned to govern, eager for the task they had been given, and delighting in one another. In the creation of the man and the woman, a principle deep in the mind of God was expressed, a dynamic of love and self-gift at the heart of the Trinity. The lowest would become the highest, the least would be made the greatest, the last would be the first. In the human, the lowliest aspects of creation would be raised to a height equal to the angelic beings. The angels of heaven delighted in the high place being offered to these lesser creatures, and were content to enjoy and echo the love of their Creator reflected in this unexpected way. But the sight of these happy creatures filled the devil and his fallen angels with anger and envy. They took thought as to how they might mar the work of God and destroy the destiny of this newly created race. They set about to enslave those whom they had been meant to serve, and to degrade those who had been assigned such an exalted place into the lowly slime beneath their feet.